What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our Week 2 battle of the NPBA Season 2 here on the channel. This week we are taking on Chase and the Toronto Tyrantrums. You saw from the team builder, we're bringing Sultan the Hoopa Unbound, Zanzibar the Dawn Fan, Spyro the Mega Charizard Y, Basilisk the Heliolisk, Haircut the Tangela, and Ripster the Garchomp. So that's kind of cool. We got our opponent Chase here. He's bringing the Kieran Black, the Galvantula, the Dusclops, Chestnut, Electros, and Manaphy. So without further ado, we're gonna play this nice and slow, and we're gonna get that music off, and then we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna switch sides too, because I want it to be on our side. So he leads with the Galvantulas, I lead with Zanzibar, which was the original plan. I just go for the Earthquake as he sets up the sticky webs. We do a massive amount of damage to this Galvantula, as he's just going to switch out at this point. I do believe I went for a second Earthquake as he switches into the Electros. Now I went for the knockoff. I figured that was the safest play. Get rid of the Electros' Assault Vest early on, which is great. I do now just go for the Rapid Spin, get rid of those sticky webs, which is fantastic, as he goes for Giga Drain on me, which isn't that big of a deal because Zanzibar is Assault Vested, so he can take that hit very nicely. As now I decide to just swap out into Sultan, who has very amazing special defense stat, and he can take that Giga Drain very nicely. I do just go for a Hyperspace Fury, does insane amounts of damage to the Electros. I'm hoping that it doesn't have any physical moves, but it just goes for the Volt Switch, which is fine. So that's cool. He goes out into the Galvantula, which I know is probably just going to try to Bug Buzz me. I swap immediately into Zanzibar so that I can take the hit. Zanzibar doesn't take it as well as I'd hoped, but that's fine. He's pressured now to either go for the webs and have me just immediately Rapid Spin them and do damage to him, or just kill me. And he decides just to kill me. As I decide to just go out into Garchomp and click Outrage. I had no reason not to click Outrage. It was the best play possible for me at the point. And no matter what he brings in, I can hit it with the Outrage or whatever and at least do some damage. But he goes out into the Chestnut and smartly goes for the Spiky Shield to pick up damage on my Garchomp, which kind of sucks, but, you know, whatever. At this point, I just swap Garchomp out. That's fine. Garchomp did his job. Into Haircut the Tangela, as he goes for the Leech Seed, which we thankfully are immune to, so that's great. He goes for a Poison Jab on us, which is awesome. As I had decided at this point to just go for a knockoff, just to be safe and make sure that he's staying in on us. Get rid of his leftovers, which is really helpful. He goes for another Poison Jab, as I go for the HP Flying. He does get the poison there, which kind of sucks, but we go for the HP Flying and do a massive amount of damage to this Chestnut, as this thing is now, as Haircut is now poisoned, and it's really aggravating. He goes for another Poison Jab, as we just clean this thing up with, as we hit this thing with a Toxic. I didn't think about going for another HP Flying, because I figured he'd probably switch, so that kind of sucks, but Tangela's now down really low, and I have to get him out of there to get his HP back up. So we are going to go out into Ripster now, who's going to take a Drain Punch pretty nicely, and with the Rough Skin and the Toxic damage racking up, this thing is going to easily get knocked out. He goes for Spiky Shield, predicting us to go for some type of attack. I actually just go for the Stealth Rocks here. I had no reason not to, as the Chestnut is just going to go down to the Toxic. So that's a kill for that's a kill for Tangela right there. Tangela gets that kill. So he frisks my Garchomp, sees my Scarf. So he knows I'm Scarf Rocks now, so that's fine. I go immediately out into Haircut as he goes for a Will-O-Wisp, which I predicted, because why would I stay in if I'm scarfed into rocks? But he went for the Will-O-Wisp as I go into Tangela, who's already poisoned, can't be burned. Now, I'm thinking he's going to go for a Shadow Sneak to try and finish me off, so I go into Basilisk. And lo and behold, he goes for the Shadow Sneak. So at this point, I'm just trying to play some games with him, trying to get Tangela's HP back up. So that is what I did. He does go for, I believe he went for another Will-O-Wisp, and lo and behold, Haircut dips and dodges it again thanks to that poison from earlier. And at this point, I'm tired of playing these games. I'm tired of playing these games. He goes out into Kyurem, which at this point I decided to just go for a knockoff, which is fantastic because I do knock off this thing's choice band, which is terrifying to think about. A choice banded Kyurem Black coming my way. He goes for an Outrage, and that is going to easily take out Haircut, which is fine. Haircut did his job for this matchup. We're going to go out into Ripster now. We know we outspeed because we are Scarfed. I made sure to calc it. Min roll was 100%, so we were going to kill this thing no matter what. So Kyurem Black goes down to our Outrage as he kind of just has to sack off Electros to the rocks. So, hey, that's a kill for Garchomp there, too. That's 2 kills for Garchomp right back to back. That's pretty awesome. Friskus finds our Scarf again. Lo and behold, he found our Scarf. We hit him with an Outrage, and we do actually a really decent amount of damage. And now we are confused and burned. So that's kind of terrifyingly unfortunate. And he goes for Shadow Sneak, which is going to hurt him with the rough skin and everything, which kind of sucks for him. But I decided to just go for the Outrage again, because at this point, if he attacks me next turn, he dies to rough skin, Garchomp gets a 3rd kill. If he doesn't attack me, if he tries to do anything else, someone's going to get hit with an Outrage, which even if it's a burned Outrage, is still going to hurt a lot. So, that's cool. So we had the Outrage going, and this thing just kind of lived it out. This thing put in the work. In comes the Manaphy. At this point, I do believe I just tried to sack off Ripster here. I was going to sack him off either way. Wanted to get off some damage, but it didn't work. And we died to the Confusion as he gets up a Tail Glow, and I was like, oh crap, wait, I have someone who can live a Scald from this thing. I actually have someone who can live a Scald from this thing. Lo and behold, it's someone who's weak to it. Spyro actually, in the sun, I calced it, can live a Scald if it's not a crit. From a Tailglowed Manaphy, it can live a Scald if it's not a crit. So I just go right for the Solar Beam, do insane amount of damage. As here's the moment of truth, goes for the Scald, and we live it. We live it on 12%, and we are able to just fire off another Solar Beam the following turn, and clean up the match. We win this match 3-0, so we're starting off the season plus 8 differential, which is absolutely insane. Good game to Chase, though. Chase really, as you saw by this battle, really improved a lot since the last time we battled him. So, really good props, big props to him. Chase has improved so much over the course of such a short amount of time. I'm really impressed. Way to go, buddy. Next week, though, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure to check the schedule so that I'm not stupid. Next week should be another interesting matchup. I want to make sure that I actually have, that I'm actually, like, positive on who I'm facing next week, because I'm not totally positive right this moment. But I want to check and make sure that I got things right in my head. Who do we face next week? Oh, I don't want to close you like that. This is embarrassing. Open that Google Sheet back up. Give me that Google Doc. Give me that Google Doc. Google Doc. Google Doc. Give me that Google Doc right now and give me the Google Doc. We are on the schedule page. We're loading the schedule page. Holy shit, this is taking forever. Oi. Alright, so we are going to be facing Justin and the Tony Typhlosions next week. So, again, another really difficult matchup. He is the one who drafted, he is the one who scooped up Volcanion, so that's a little blast from our fella past. He's got a really terrifying team, so it's going to be a little bit tough to prep for, but I think for sure that we can pull out the victory in this matchup. I think we can beat Justin again like last season. Hopefully we can. But yeah. If you guys are hyped, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.